Today, I'm going over 4 homebuyer mistakes that you can't afford to make. I'm Jessica Dorsey, Associate Broker in Northern Colorado, and let's get into it. If you happen to be driving around a neighborhood and you see a for sale sign on the house of your dreams, when you call that number, you're actually calling the listing agent of that house. Now, you need to know that that listing agent has no fiduciary duties to you. They are only out for the best interests of their sellers. When you're speaking directly to the listing agent, you don't have somebody that is on your side, who is playing on your team. Sure, they're super friendly and nice and all of that, but they're not looking out for your best interests. How you combat this is to interview some buyer's agents. You want to have a representative on your side who can go to bat for you when you're in negotiations with that listing agent. Because just like that listing agent is looking out for the best interests of those sellers, your buyer's agent is going to be looking out for the best interests of you. Honestly, I always recommend interviewing agents. You want to find somebody that you can communicate well with, that you feel comfortable with, that you like, and that you trust. There's a ton of agents out there. There's a ton that are great, and there's a ton that suck. So take the time to actually interview agents so that you feel comfortable making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. The number 2 mistake is miscalculating how much it actually takes to buy a house. A lot of people get wrapped up in the down payment idea and they are only saving for the 3 to 20% down payment that they plan on putting down on the house. But there are other costs associated with buying a home. You have closing costs, which can be an additional 3 to 5%. You have your inspection, you have your appraisal, you have your radon test. Also, other expenses that you should talk to your lender about that will be included in your loan. Also, when you're closing on a house, you have to purchase home insurance. You have to put a certain amount of taxes into escrow. Your lender will have the answers to these questions as far as how much that actually is going to be. I would talk to them about that, and I would also talk to your lender about what your closing costs look like. Right now, in Colorado, we're not seeing sellers pay any kind of closing costs, but in a more normal market, sellers will be more willing to pay closing costs. The way that I coach my clients is I want everybody to know upfront how much it's actually going to cost people. Even if that means that you need to take another few months or even another year or so to save up the amount of money. I would rather you have all of the information upfront on what you actually need to be saving for so you can buy a house. Third mistake that you can make is shopping without a pre-approval. I know I've harped on this for video after video after video, but you have to be pre-approved before you can go and house hunt. Most listing agents aren't even going to accept a showing request unless a pre-approval is accompanied with that request, because, like I mentioned in mistake number 1, they're looking out for the interests of their sellers, and it does not make any sense for them to let somebody into their home who cannot actually buy that house. Sellers have lives of their own. You're a stranger going into that house, and you need to keep that in mind when you start searching. They're cleaning up the house, they're putting the dogs away, they're making sure their kids' rooms look great, all to show you the house. And if you aren't actually in a position to buy that house, that's not in the seller's best interest to show it. Before you can start shopping, you actually need to know what you can afford. So going through the whole pre-approval process and talking to your lender and showing them all of the documents that you need is going to allow you to shop with confidence. You're going to know exactly what your budget is. You're going to know exactly what mortgage payment you feel comfortable making every month. Going out there willy-nilly without a pre-approval could mean that you're shopping way above your budget. Shopping without a pre-approval letter can ultimately set you up for disappointment when you've been shopping for something that you can't actually afford. Mistake number 4, and I've also harped on this a ton, skipping the home inspection. Because this is an optional thing for buyers and it's not required to get a loan on a house, a lot of buyers want to hold on to as much money as they can while they're shopping, and some decide to skip the expense of hiring a home inspector. I advise all of my clients to not do this. 1000% I believe in a home inspection. I believe you should know what you are buying. Just like when you're at the car dealership, you want to test drive that thing first. That's essentially what a home inspection is. You want to know, are there foundation issues? Is there mold in the house? Are we seeing water damage evidence? You want to know those things before you close on the house so that you can choose to purchase that house and go into that transaction with your eyes wide open, instead of just saving a couple $100 that could ultimately cost you tens of thousands of dollars to fix. You want to know what you're purchasing, and you want to be aware of the home maintenance that you need to do on the house. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week.